Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just Talk with Gabe. I'm here, my sidekick is here, and so is our guest. Let's get started. Who do we have on today's show?
Today we have one truly talented individual. She's a writer and a director, Candice Cain.
I can't wait to hear all about her. So, go grab your snacks, sit back, relax, and as always,
Enjoy the show!
Candice, welcome to the show. We're glad you could join us for an episode of Just Talk with Gabe.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being on. Let's get into it.
Sure.
All right, so you were a writer, director, and founder of Gemelli Films. So,
Yep. It's actually pronounced Gemelli, so let me correct you on that.
Right.
Gemelli.
Gemelli,
Yes.
So how did you actually get started in the entertainment industry?
Well, it actually started when I was very young, child actor, model, did all that fun stuff. And then when I was in college, I really started working heavy behind stage on theatrical productions, and I had the opportunity to work on a couple of films. Like I was an extra in one, and then I worked on a couple of independent films on the crew, and then I got to work on U.S. Marshals on the crew, and just, I've been around it my entire life pretty much.
Oh, wow, that's pretty interesting. That was a great movie, U.S. Marshals. I like that movie.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun shoot.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. So how do you approach developing a new story or like a concept from scratch?
So I'm weird, okay? And I've been called weird so much this week because I was just in London for a big market event, and I was talking to my executive producer Pam, and she's like, "You know what, Candice, you're just weird." And and I was talking to Orlando, who's my director of photography, and everybody says the same thing because I don't have a specific way that I develop. Like not develop my stories. Like I wrote my very first script when I was 9 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was called A Journey to Chocolate Lands, and we ended up shooting it, it wasn't really, I was like on a camcorder, whatever, but I was like 9, so you're talking back in like 1980 something, 85.
Uh-huh.
But there are a couple of ways. Sometimes I'll see an entire film while I'm asleep, from opening credits to end credits.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
so I have 2 movies coming out this year. One is called Peekaboo, and the other one is called The Wedding Bell. And I legit went to sleep, and the opening credits started, saw the entire movie, and then the end credits ran, and I woke up like I was leaving a theater. And I have notebooks everywhere, so I just wrote the outline, and then I wrote the scripts. I have people come up to me that'll say to me, "Hey, Candy, I'd really like to do a woman in peril film for my film, and this is my budget for my company, and this is the budget that I can give you." So then I'll write a film for them. Sometimes it just comes from the heart. So the way I get my ideas is they just come from anywhere.
Oh,
And then I will write an outline, because it gives me my acts, and then I'll adhere to that outline and I just go.
that is really neat.
That is.
Now, in terms of like writing an outline, because I've always been a horrible like person to use an outline, do you ever just veer off and go, no, I could do a little better than this? Or is it just you
Well,
stick to your outline?
that's my problem,
Uh-huh.
is that I am very, very verbose. And I go off on tangents a lot. So I keep my line just to kind of be on track. So yeah, I mean, it'll be very vague, like girl meets boy. Okay, how do they meet? And then I come up with the whole idea how they meet. Girl and boy get into fight. Okay, well, you know what I mean? So like, or girl, whatever. It'll just come, that type of thing. So I know where I need to go, but I give myself a lot of liberties because my outlines aren't very, very detailed.
Okay.
And I just fill in the details as I write. And, I write in a notebook first. Like I literally write script format by hand.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
then when I type from the notebook into my final draft of software. And that's how I do my first set of edits.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Imagine dreaming of a whole movie. Like, wow, that's cool. That's kind of cool.
That is really neat. It's like you
It's
wipe.
weird.
Yeah.
No, I think that's like the coolest thing I've heard.
Yeah,
Like ever.
ever. That is cool.
It's so strange. And like another strange thing about me is like, you have a lot of people that are like, oh my God, it took me 2 years to write this script. Um, I I write no less than 4 scripts at one time.
Wow.
So like, because I just jump around, and it's how my brain works. And I just tried to explain it to Orlando yesterday. Orlando Fuentes Jr. is one of my directors of photography. He's a core member of Gemelli, and so is Michael Tuminello, he's another director of photography. He just did his first movie with me called Humbug the Elf, but he also has worked in other positions with Gemelli. So we just went to England for MIP London with Kristen Martino, who's a producer and my logistics coordinator. So I kind of sat with them and I was like, guys, I don't want you to think that I'm being disrespectful when I walk off set, when you're doing you're setting something else and I'm writing a completely different script. That's how my brain like keeps me on track on set, because I'll go away and go into a completely different zone and start writing there, and then when they pull me out, I come out of the zone and I'm back on set.
Oh, that is so awesome.
That is.
I kind of want to just like be in your brain for a day. Thinking that would be so fun.
So it might be a little chaotic, but the way that I described to a few people now, like this is the best way that I can describe it, is when I write, my zone is a hallway. And Andrew Larkin plays Brendan Crane in my series Heavy Hitters, and he's also been in a couple of my other movies. And I had this long conversation with him, and describing to him out loud for the first time ever what it's like to be in my head when I write. And I see this long hallway. Like if I close my eyes, I can see, I can tell you the tiles, I can tell you the doors, I can tell you the walls. And it's just this really long hallway with a window at the end. And it's just lined with doors. And I walk down this hallway, and some of the doors are shut and like padlocked closed. Some of the doors are cracked open. Some of them are wide open, and some of them are just closed, So without any locks on it. And I know which door is which story. And all I have to do is look at the door, like when I'm in this hallway. It's like I visualize this hallway, and then I look at the door and I go into that room. I see the entire world of that story. I was telling Andrew about this, and for the first time ever, one of my characters came into the hallway and like tried to pull me into the room to write the story. So I was like, you got to write this one now, which is what happened with season
Right.
2 of Heavy Hitters. It was his character. But yeah, I know. Like I said, I'm weird. I know it sounds crazy. I know it's just the way my brain functions,
Uh-huh.
that I can see these different worlds where these characters live.
And I think that's like the best. I mean, I think your brain is beautiful and you're so
Thank
not
you.
weird.
That is
So
that's really
I'm
cool.
just like, oh my gosh, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Thank
Because
you.
as a writer myself, and I know someone told me one time, I told someone actually that my characters write their own stories. I
You
just
told me
kind of,
that, and I was
I
just like,
forgot about it.
what?
Yeah. And and
I
he's
was
like,
like,
he
that
just
makes
looked
no
at me like I was the
sense.
weirdest person. And I was like, you just have to allow them to tell their story.
Right.
So hearing what you just said, I'm like, I'm not weird after all. Ha ha.
Exactly it. And when I write, people are like, "Oh my God, you're such an incredible writer." And it's not that I mean, maybe whatever. But it's not that I don't feel like I'm these ideas by myself. It's like I'm transcribing the story that I'm watching.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
So,
actually, speaking of the writing process,
yes,
how much of your own personal life do you actually pour into your characters and into your ideas?
a lot. And it's funny because I usually don't realize it until a lot later, when we're like going through the post-production process, or even sometimes when we're in a scene on set. Um, I usually identify with a character very, very strongly. And the reason I'm talking so much about Heavy Hitters is because I'm literally writing the second episode of the second season right now. Like I took a break to to jump on here with you guys, and now I'm going back.
Thank
And
you.
there's this one character named Derek, that's played by River Perkins, and I didn't realize how much I identified with him until I saw like the first because we went through picture lock of the first episode of the first season. I was like, I really am Derek. Like that's so much of me in there. I had a rough upbringing, but it was difficult um, because my dad left when I was very young. He left when I was 7, and my mom was 32. Raising me and my sister, who was 3 years younger than me, by herself as a teacher.
Wow.
So I was
Right.
7, my sister was 3, and it was just really hard. And I had a very tumultuous relationship with my father when he came back in. So, like he came in and out, and it was very difficult. And I haven't talked to him now in like 22 years or something to that effect, which is totally fine. But there are a lot of parental issues, like daddy issues or whatever in my scripts, and a lot about single moms, and how strong single mothers are, because I lived that, you know and I tend to write, in my opinion, I mean, I'm getting better writing for women, um but I feel like I write better for men because I was a super tomboy growing up.
Wow.
Right.
So, I think little bits and pieces of me are in every character, but then there'll be one that it's like, holy crow, that's me.
You're like, you see yourself
You're
on
just like,
screen.
wait a
Or in the
minute.
words.
You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. That's me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny because Pam said to me, she's like, Candace, you have a vernacular that you use, like, what in the world? And she goes, every time you say what in the world, I think of XYZ movie and character who says that. And it's like, oh, that's really funny.
That is awesome.
So, can you actually talk about a time when a script you wrote like changed significantly during production, or kind of like shifted in a way?
Sure. Um, sure. So my very first movie during production, like we're usually really good about filming, while we're on set, and like adhering to the story, adhering to whatever we've got, barring any major issues that might happen. Um, very first movie, what happened last night, I had no idea what I was doing. And ironically, it got picked up by Sony, and it, we were on the short list for the Oscars for
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
best song. It was crazy. But during the film, while we were filming, Amber Rose was in the movie, and it's a really long story, so I'm just gonna like give you the bare bones
Right,
details.
of course.
We had rented this house, and the man, my friend's husband, who no longer my friend, decided that he wanted to shoot his shot with Amber Rose.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I had, and Amber is great. She's like one of the best people I've ever worked with. But my husband's a police officer, so I hired a couple of off-duty cops to do security to protect her so that people wouldn't go near her or try to go into the apartment that she was at. And that's what this husband tried to do.
Oh no.
So, was blocked uh, from advances. She didn't even know about it. And that night, he took all of our equipment, all of our um, took everything that we had in the house that we were renting from him and threw it outside.
Oh,
Oh
no.
no.
And this was literally right before Christmas. I think it happened December 3rd.
Oh, no.
And it was a low budget film, and we were so stuck. We had to think on our feet. We shot at my house, in my backyard, and I had to like write different scenes on the fly to explain away why we were doing these different things. And like David Atunga was on set. I was like, guys, I need to write. David's going to stay longer because we got to do this. Let me write him in. So give me 5 minutes. Just be really quiet. And then I'd go and I'd write a scene. I'd come out and give everybody the pages, and they would like do the scenes. And I was like, I'll fix it in post, which is
Just
what
like,
we
yeah.
did, which is what we ended up doing, and it's an okay movie, Yeah, I mean it's cute, it's funny, it's like it's a college comedy, and we did. But I had to roll with the punches on that one.
Exactly. I mean that happens sometimes, and that is like one
Yeah.
of the best stories because
That's wow. That's
it became
crazy.
like a great film. So
Yeah.
see, there you go.
Yeah, it was
Um,
tough though. It was really, really hard.
yeah, I can imagine. Like, wow, you just throw everything out. That's crazy.
That's insane.
It was insane. It was, you have no idea. Like that's just the tip of the iceberg.
So as for like the
You know,
oh no,
go
go
ahead.
on.
No, I was just gonna say, people think that making a film is easy,
Yeah, it's
and they're like, getting locations and even renting a restaurant. Okay, we're gonna rent a restaurant for the day, and for them, the day is like, oh, 3 hours. For us, the day is 12 hours.
Right.
right, exactly.
So, and it's like, why are you here so long? Because we're renting it for the day. I'm giving you $5,000 to rent this place.
For the
Think
For
it
the
day.
was going to
day,
be
the
easy for the
entire
day,
day.
right? So people don't understand how much goes in to shooting,
Right.
and there's just no way to educate them, because even if you describe how long it's going to take and how difficult it is, they still don't believe you until they're like, "Wow, you weren't lying." No
Yeah.
That's
kidding.
true.
They won't
That's
believe you
true.
until they're actually there themselves.
Yeah. When it's like 2 a.m. and you've done the same scene like 12
12 times, and
times
everyone's
and
sleepy, and
I know.
it's a lot of fun. Oh boy. All right. So as for like the visual style of your movies, do you prefer working with a set style, or do you like experimenting with different approaches for each project?
Actually, let my director of photography decide how they want to go.
oh, that's
Okay.
pretty
And
cool.
yeah, I like to collaborate with my crew. And and I hate the word collaborate, because I get emails from people all the time, actors especially, who are like, "I'd love to collaborate with you." No, you want me to hire you.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you want me to hire you and then we collaborate. And like, people that want me to like shoot their scripts, "Oh, let's collaborate." No, you want me to pay you to do your script. Like, make no mistake, there's a difference between collaboration and hiring. So I will hire people to be my director of photography, but then I will collaborate with that person in order to decide the style that I want. I'm not going to be like, "All right, Orlando, I want this shot this way, this way, this way." It'll be like, "What are your thoughts?" And that's why I want to hire people, because I really enjoy working with them.
Right.
Um, and my culture with my company is that we promote from within. So when I started working, I started at the bottom and I worked my way. Now I own a production company, and knock on wood, we're pretty successful. For doing what we do, we have 27 projects. We're working on our 28th project, and we start shooting our 24th film on March 30th, and we have 4 series, just without even saying how many episodes or seasons there are.
Wow.
Well,
So, like, that's not so bad for an independent company, you know what I mean?
yeah. That's not
Exactly.
bad.
So I don't want to fix anything that's not broken. So I started working, volunteering, doing whatever I could on films, and I worked in every single department. That's not to say I worked every position, but I worked in every single department. And I know where I like to go. I liked being the director. I liked being on the director's unit. PA, second assistant, first assistant, now I'm director. I really enjoyed that. But I have people, like, there's this one guy, Anthony Cohen. Love this kid. He's such a sweet kid. He's in his early 20s, and he started out on my film on, I think he was on Royal Runaways, as a PA. And then he pulled into another movie as a PA, and he worked as a PA. And then people liked him, wanted to pull him in as a grip. So he was pulled into the grip unit. So he worked as key grip. He worked his all the way up onto key grip on Mocha and Mistletoe, which we shot in December. And we had a conversation for the last movie where he's like, "Candy, listen, I really want to get onto the director's unit." So I said, "Okay, Cohen, let's figure this out." So he took a step down to go from being key grip, which is like a department supervisor, into going second assistant director, so that we can train from within. Usually he'd go down to a PA, but he's been on our sets enough that he knows like how our set functions.
Right.
Right.
So, I'll put him in as second. So I created a position for him in Fireplace Ridge. And then, if he likes it there, like we'll have him be second again. And then maybe he could work his way up to like second assistant director. So I try my best to help these people out.
Right, of course.
That's true.
That's amazing.
And it kind of seems like it's more like a family in a sense than
Yeah.
just like you go to a job. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. We shoot 5 films and 1 series a year.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
to my guy, I call them my guys, like my core group of Gemelli people. And I think there's like 12 of them now. And I'll say, all right, guys, this is the next project. Like we're doing, we were in Colorado doing Mocha and Mistletoe back in December. And I said, okay, listen, January to February, we're going to do Humbug the Elf. And then March to April, we're going to do Fireplace Ridge. One is a Christmas movie, one is a paranormal thriller. I want you guys to figure out who's working camera, who's doing the crew. Come back to me and tell me who's going to do what. I expect you guys to offer support to each other. And everybody pretty much gets paid the same. So they came back to me. They're like, we're going to let it's Mike Tuminello's first time. We're going to let him be the director of photography. And I'm like, all right, that's fine, but you guys better support him. And Gavin Cruz, he was our gaffer, and Orlando was our first AC. They all jumped in and supported him to get Mike's legs under him so that he could be a director of photography, because that's what he wanted.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
That is. So, when you're working with actors, how do you help them bring out the best performances to nail your creative vision?
So I love working with actors because I started as an actress. I have a very strong background in theater. I'm 48 years old and I haven't acted since 2005, 2006. 2006? Yeah, like 2006. I haven't acted. And I have 36 stage productions under my belt.
Wow.
Just
Wow, that's cool.
not that doesn't even tell you like how long the run was.
Right.
So, and then I have television shows, movies, whatever, in front of the camera. So I really understand actors. And something that I like to do is get to know an actor before he or she comes to set and figure out exactly how they receive information. Because I'm a chameleon and I can give information any way that somebody wants to receive it, you know?
Right.
So some people that are very visual. There are some people that need you to talk to them as their character. There are some people that need to flesh things out. Some people like to journal. Some people like to just talk. Some people like music, so all those different things. I will never go up to an actor and be like, hey, I need you to deliver this like this, be angry, until I get to a point where they're not like picking up what I'm putting down. I will usually go to people and ask them things, about their character, about a situation. Really good. It was my favorite interaction with an actor was Aiden Thomas Dyson. We were hanging out in Manhattan. I got tickets to a show. I was invited to a show, and I gave actors the opportunity to go with me. This is for heavy hitters to like different things that I was invited to. So Aiden was the one that was going to see this show with me. And after the show, we were walking. We were talking about this one scene that he had for heavy hitters. He plays Frank De La Cruz, and it was a scene with his mom. And I told him the story of the little red hen. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. Where it's like the girl just the hen has to do everything by herself, and then everybody wants to partake in the rewards,
Oh,
and she's like,
Yeah,
no, I'm gonna right.
I
So no, I
remember
have to
that
do it
I know that
story.
myself.
story. Yeah.
Right. So I Aiden come to the conclusion that his mother didn't deserve to know what was going on. And I remember we were sitting on a stoop I think we were in Soho. I can't remember where we were, but somewhere in Manhattan that I don't usually go. And I remember looking at his face, and I was facing him and he was facing the street. And I just literally saw the light bulb go on And he like kind of gasped and he's like, because she doesn't deserve it. She just doesn't deserve to know. So I like to have the actors come to their own conclusions
Right.
Right.
so that it resonates more with them so that they connect. Um, sometimes an actor or put a character in their place if I need something. Um, I remember like I needed to get this. I knew Ethan, his name's Ethan Jones. He plays Eric Robinson in Heavy Hitters, and I knew he wanted to like look upset, and his face was looking upset, and his eyes weren't. And I
Oh,
went
where's
up to him and I whispered in his ear and I said some like really, really, really mean things to him about his character. And by the time we said action, he actually had tears coming down his
Oh,
face.
that's cool.
So,
Yeah, wow, that's like wow.
yeah.
Put a
So,
lot of effort into that. That's cool. You get to ask them kind of what their process is and help them work through it. I think that's
yeah.
cool.
So I know how to like an actor hard. And sometimes I'll use other actors to mess with actors on set, so that like don't tell them, just I'll pull them into another room and be like, hey, listen, I want you to do XYZ in this, and don't tell your scene partner that you're doing this. And then they'll go and they'll do it, and then all of a sudden it's like exactly the way that I wanted it to be.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard that our dog in here was barking, but
Oh, it's okay.
that's show business, I guess.
Yeah, my dog's in front of me stretching, so
Expect the unexpected always. So, how do you balance creative vision with practical limitations like budget and time constraints?
time is the worst. Like time is what we like. That's the budget. Yeah, budget is something that you're always concerned about, but if you plan accordingly, you're not going to go over budget. And we do really, 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 really well with that. Like you can ask Pam; she's never had an issue with me, um, or anybody. Like we do really well, especially if the executive producer comes in, tells me this is what I want, and then just lets me cook and lets me run my team the way I want. We will never run over budget, unless God forbid something insane happens.
Right.
I've had two instances where executive producers decided they knew better than us and came in and budgets were just blown out of control, because it was them. If they just if we stay in our lanes, and I hate to say that, but if you're given a specific job, just let us cook. You're hired because you're trusted. You um, time. Sometimes you just can't help time. So what we try to do, if we realize that we're running over or having an issue, Anthony DiDomenico is my first assistant director. I'll be like, dude, figure out where we can fit this into the slate, fit it into the not the slate, fit it into the schedule. And Anthony will go and he'll rip the schedule apart and be like, all right, we can move it over here. So it's just a matter of, being able to slide things and move things apart, to different places that we needed to go.
Right. Yeah, that's
And it's just a matter of being prepared.
better.
And if you have a team that you can bounce things off of so that you don't have to do everything yourself, which is basically, that's what I had to do a lot. If you get help, never run into those issues. Like that'll be insurmountable problems.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, actually, speaking of like the whole process of actually filmmaking itself, what is your favorite part of it? Is it pre-production, shooting, post-production? Because I know for me, I love being on
Oh,
set. I love actually filming it. So, like, what is it for you?
that's not fair. Um, it's it's so different. It's so different with every project.
Right.
When we were doing Heavy Hitters was a 5-month process. Okay, we had our original auditions on April 22nd, and then April 29th was the big, big audition. And during the entire summer for pre-production, we were in pre-pro until like August. So that's 3 months. And we were playing baseball games. The guys were coming in their character. playing games, doing interviews, doing all these different things. We were going to baseball games together, like Mets and Yankees and whatever else. And I got to know each one of these guys. And it was so cool and so fun. And then production hit, and production was very stressful. I loved every minute of it. I mean, that's not, it's, and then going into post production, which we're in right now, and seeing everything coming together is so cool.
Right.
It's so cool, but there's like, I did a project where the pre-production was awesome, but filming it, we were doing overnights up in Lake Placid, and it was cold and it was dark, and we'd go to sleep when it was dark, and we'd wake up when it was dark, and we would work the whole night and then just go to sleep. It's just before sunrise, and then we wake up just as the sun was going down. That was hard. Like, that I did not enjoy that,
Right. I can imagine.
but it's a great movie, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like going to a Gordon Ramsay restaurant and getting like a 9-course tasting course and asking which one's your favorite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At
Absolutely.
different times, it's like maybe the appetizers, maybe the dessert, then
Exactly.
maybe the.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just, I think watching like the production, like when Gabriel's like doing his productions and films, I just sit and like to take it all in because it seems like it's just like a magical place behind the scenes. And then when you see the finished product on screen, it's like, wow, all of that made,
Somehow made that, and it's
Yeah.
amazing to see.
yeah.
It's really cool because that's Pam's reaction. Because Pam will come in, she reads my scripts. She's like, all right, let's do this movie or let's do this show or whatever. And then we do the pre-production, and I talk to her and talk about everything else, tell her who's doing what. And then she'll come in while we're filming, usually like the first week or the last week, but she'll be here and see it filming and whatever else. And then watches the first reel of the movie without the very first draft. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
not pretty and put together. And then watch it just come together. She's like, this is just really cool.
It is.
It
So it's
is.
like magic.
Yeah, it is. Movie magic.
So, what motivated you to start your own production company, and what do you think is the most important quality in running a successful company?
Okay, those are two very big different
Of
questions.
course.
The reason I started my production company is because I got tired of waiting for permission. Why am I going to get permission from somebody else to tell me it's okay for me to follow my dreams? I'm just
Absolutely.
going to do it.
Absolutely, I
Absolutely.
can relate to that a lot. Yeah.
So, that's why Gemelli came to be. And Gemelli means twins. It was named after my twins, Charles and Catherine.
Oh,
So, that's why I do that. And then I think the most important, is that what you asked? What was
Yeah,
the
the most
question?
important quality.
Most important quality of the company is that people are included in everything that we do. You know, um, I have like Amy Minter. I mean, obviously Pam is an executive producer. Amy Minter is a producer with me, but she came in the very early stages of Gemelli, and she, I bounce ideas off of her. I bounce ideas off of Pam. I get their feedback. Then there's Joey Pisani, who's my executive vice president, but he's also my sound engineer on set and off set. Excuse me. He's actually texting me while I'm talking to you guys, so um, that's why I'm not answering, Joe. Give me a minute. Um, Joey is very honest, and Joey, people look at him like they don't know us, and they'll see him and they'll be like, he's just a sound guy. Why is he talking to her like that? Why is he invested? Because he's a part of my company,
Right.
and you have to hire people that you trust, but that you also trust to do their jobs.
Right.
You need to also establish communication. Like, there has to be communication between everybody, where you want to take care of each other. And that's like another thing, is to have that, oh, it's not my job mentality. That does not fly here. If you're going to come onto my set and you see something on the ground and you don't pick it up because it's not your job, don't be on my set. And I've said that to people before. Like, if if you're going to pull the whole "it's not my job" thing, go join a union, because we do indie films and we work together as a family and we lift each other up.
That's awesome.
That is.
That is so cool.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to go on a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back, guys.
Welcome to Action Magazine, your front row seat to the world of entertainment. Get the latest news, exclusive stories, and the insider access to the hottest trends and more, all in one place. But here's the twist. Action Magazine isn't just something you read, it's something you experience. Dive deeper with interactive features, immersive videos, and content that comes to life on your screen. For the best experience, view on your computer. Get in on the action. Stay ahead of the curve with stories that move just as fast as you do. Action Magazine. Entertainment redefined. Log on now and experience the difference.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Oh, welcome back, guys.
Alrighty, let's get into the fun round.
The fun round.
All right, so first of all, what is your favorite city and why?
My favorite city is Cannes, France. I love it so much. It's very walkable. I hate going to cities that I have to drive in, or, like with angry people or whatever else. It's just a really, really old city. The weather is phenomenal year round. If I could buy real estate there, I absolutely would. The food is incredible. It's right on the beach, and it's
Oh,
very
wow.
entertainment friendly. It's such an old city. I got to bring my family there for the first time in August of last year, and it was amazing. It was just so cool.
Oh,
So
that would be
freaking
awesome.
cool.
That would be.
Cannes is great. If you ever get to go, go. I'm actually talking to Pam and my team right now to see if we're going to go to the Cannes Film Festival this year, because my company is an accredited company, and we might go this year.
That
That's
sounds like
awesome.
fun.
Okay, I'm gonna put this out there to to the atmosphere, and I carry bags very well. I mean, I do not mind being the assistant to the assistant to the assistant PA. I mean, I'm good with that.
I've been there. I think I've been there a dozen times since 2016.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I now speak French. I love it. It's so old and so beautiful, and just everybody is so nice. It's just great. It's so walkable too, and it's just a really, really neat place to be.
That sounds.
I can't recommend it enough, honestly.
That's gonna go on to like our top 10.
It should. It
Sure.
should be number one. It's just such a great place. And we went on a Mediterranean cruise with my family this year for my mom wanted to set it up. So it was like my twins, Charles and Catherine, my husband, me, and my mom, and we did like this 9-day cruise, and we hit all different cities. Every single day was a different city. And I said, well, which one was your favorite? And all of my whole family said Cannes. And what was really cool was that we did not do a shore excursion with Cannes. I was the shore excursion. So I was like, please, just let me plan it. Let me bring you to like a day in the life when I go to these events. Because we go to MIPCOM. They used to have MIP TV there, the Cannes Film Festival. I'm like, let me just show you what we do when I come here with my team. Because I go every year. Now it's going to be like once a year, maybe twice a year. But I go with a team of at least 4 of us go.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And it's awesome. So we know the restaurants to go to. The best pizza I've ever had in my entire life is in Cannes.
Oh, wow.
Pizza Crushy.
Now, see,
Pizza Crushy.
Interesting.
It's phenomenal.
that you never would have thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, Cannes used to be a part of Italy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, that
It
explains
was
it. Yeah.
annexed. The cooking style is still that Italian cooking style, but with the French flavors.
Oh,
It's
wow.
Wow.
it's phenomenal. We have like a routine that we have when we go there. We know the people at the restaurants. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So yeah,
Oh, that's
I
okay.
get really excited.
Okay,
So
yeah, that's going on number 1
Yeah.
for sure.
For the pizza.
yeah, you have to. It's great, and it's really not that expensive. It's just the trick. This is a really good travel trick for anybody listening. The trick for going to anywhere in Europe is find the cheapest airport that you can fly into, right? And North Atlantic Airways always has really great fares in different places. So if you wanted to go to Cannes, let's say, but it's only like $165 each way into London, buy those tickets and then get the jumper tickets, like the ones within Europe, because it's only like, I think we got it for €19 to fly from Rome to Nice, and it was like $165 to fly into Rome.
Oh wow, that's really cheap.
But if you flew direct from New York to Cannes, New York to Nice, it was like $1,200.
Right. Wow.
So flying around Europe, super cheap. So just get to Europe, get your bags, and then get like a ticket within Europe to go to the place you want to go.
Huh, who would have thought that would be cheaper? Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So if you had to cast a fictional character to be the lead in your next project, who would it be?
Okay, I don't understand this question. Do I cast a fictional character or do I cast the actor?
The character itself.
Ooh. Okay. Oh, that's a fun question, huh? I'm trying to think. Probably my next. Okay, well, let's not count the one that I'm. No, okay. Probably Cordelia Angel. We're going old school here now. Um, yeah, Cordelia from Angel. She was played by Charisma
Oh my
Carpenter.
god, I'm actually rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer for like the second or third time right now. I love that show.
Oh, she was in that too. I was
Yeah, she
on
was in
Buffy.
Buffy. Yeah,
I did stunts on Buffy and on Angel.
I love those
Um,
shows so much. Like, wow. Okay, yeah, I would love it.
yeah, I would have to go with Cordelia because the movie that I'm doing next is Fireplace Ridge, and it's all about like paranormal stuff. It's based on a true story, and yeah, I would have to go with her because she's such a good damsel in distress.
Hmm.
Because she has those moments when she's like, "What am I supposed to do?" And then she's like, you know, a kick-ass woman
Yeah,
where she just like gets herself out of problems, and that's what the next two movies that I'm doing are,
yeah, she
I
was always
think.
one of my favorite characters on both those shows. Yeah,
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, Charisma Carpenter is actually a really nice person.
really.
Yeah, I did a stunt where I had to hit a springboard. I was a demon and I had this mask on, and I hit the springboard and it launched me through a table. And when I was getting up, the mask twisted, or when I hit, like at some point, the mask twisted and went into my eye. And when you have an issue like that, you're really not supposed to move so that medic or so that, the stunt coordinator come in to help you.
Right.
So I'm like laying there, but this mask is like over my face and nobody can hear me. And Charisma happened to be right nearby. And the thing was like pressing into my head. I was really uncomfortable. I'm like, hey, can somebody help me? Somebody, can you help me? Hey guys, I need help. So she came over and she's like, what's the matter? I said, the mask is in my left eye. And can you like call somebody? She's like, let me help you. And she like lifted the mask from the bridge of my nose so that it came out of my eye and started yelling for help for me.
Oh wow.
And she was just really cool. And there was like a bunch of people around and she was like the star of the show and she came over and helped me.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, just a really lovely person.
If you could create a new genre of film that's never been seen before, what would it be called?
Oh, I'm really into sports right now. Like real, well, I'm really into baseball.
Hmm.
I don't know what kind of, I don't know what I would call it, but they have sports drama, right?
Right.
I would do a sports thriller.
Oh, that
Ooh,
sounds like fun.
that does.
Right? And I actually have one written. But I would do a sports thriller or a sports mystery or so it's like something where you would like mash up sports with something equally exciting.
That would be cool. I don't know why it just kind of ran through my head like a mix of Major League meets Jason and Freddy. Math.
Right? Yeah.
I totally watch.
I mean, I would just call it like the adrenaline, it's like an
Right.
Yeah,
adrenaline film.
Yeah.
That's I think because you have like the body adrenaline where your heart's racing from playing sports, but then you also have the adrenaline of like fear,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I would call it an adrenaline flick. How's that for a genre?
All right.
Adrenaline.
I'd watch
Right?
that.
I'd totally watch that.
So, out of all your projects, is there like one character in specific that you would actually like to be friends with in real life?
Derek Prescott. Oh, that came out real fast.
You were ready for that.
You
one.
were ready for
I
that. Wow.
wasn't. I actually wasn't. And I, when you were asking me that question, I was like, she's going to ask me, they're going to ask me who I want to be friends with. And I was like, I'm just going to answer on whoever comes to my mind first. I'm just going to say. And Derek Prescott, how about that? That's so funny. I can't wait to tell River. So Derek Prescott is a character from Heavy Hitters. And
Okay.
you will be meeting him should this series take off as much as we all think that it's going to.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait to meet him.
Right. So if aliens,
He's awesome.
So if aliens landed on set during a shoot, what would you do first? Like, would you ask them to be extras? Would you write them into the plot? Like what?
I'd probably push them off to like grip and electric because that's where they need the most help carrying gear.
You put him to work.
Put in the work.
Make it somebody else's problem. Like, I would absolutely put them to work. I wouldn't be like starstruck at all. And anybody on my crew will tell you that I don't get starstruck. But I would definitely be like, all right, Joey, you need a boom up? All right, get the tallest alien over there. You can use him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or like, they would totally, and we're training you, so we're not going to pay you. Come on, guys, like, let's go.
Exactly.
Free labor. Free labor. Let's go.
That's awesome.
Awesome. If you could only take 5 things to Desert Island, what would they be?
Okay, so since you said things, I am not going to bring people or animals because I don't consider them things. Okay.
Right.
So I would have to say a notebook for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So a pen.
Right.
Okay.
Bathing suit because I don't want to get my clothes. So I just need a little change of clothes. If I'm gonna go swimming,
Right.
or swimming out there, I need to have a bathing suit. And let's say, what are things that I can't? I mean, obviously you're not gonna bring any electronics because that's just stupid.
Right.
I would probably bring a baseball and a practice net.
Okay.
So that's something to do.
That sounds,
Right. Yeah, that's not bad.
That's
Yeah.
not bad. We've had some pretty like different answers.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of people they will bring their electronics.
Yeah.
So yours are pretty
Sorry, didn't mean to say it was stupid.
No,
I apologize.
no, not at all.
Not at all.
Because I would think like, how are you going to keep that charged? Oh,
Well,
solar
as long as
battery.
they also bring like a solar
Yeah.
charger,
Yeah,
you
that's
know what I
what I'm
mean?
thinking.
But you have to like
That's-
waste one of your items on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
But no, those are solid
Those
answers
are,
right there.
yeah.
Those you could actually like survive on
Yeah.
for a while.
For a while.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What is the weirdest thing that you've ever Googled while working on a script?
Oh, probably how to drug someone. And what's really funny, this is a great story. My uncle was an assistant special agent in charge of the DEA. And
Wow.
he is my mother's younger brother, and he's like my father figure. He's always has been. After my dad left, like my uncle Tony was the one who really stepped in. And I have a very, very good relationship with him. He walked me down the aisle when I got married.
Oh.
He's just a really cool dude. So I'll Google it, and I won't understand. Like it won't give me, because I get scared because I don't want. My husband's also a police lieutenant,
Right.
so I don't want to like. I don't know who's watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, oh my God, what do you search history and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I called my uncle once. My movie Seventh Inning Stretch. And I'm like, Uncle Tony, if I wanted to drug like a 6-foot guy that's about 200 pounds without him knowing, what drug do I want to use? And he starts telling me, well, you want to go with GHB? I said, well, he's going to have to take a urine test the next day. In my story, I need to make it not show up. He goes, okay, you got to go with GHB. And he starts telling me about these things about GHB. He's like, depends on how big the guy is. So hold on a second. Yeah, can you get me another Coke? Okay, thank you. And I'm like, where are you? He goes, oh, I'm in a steakhouse. I'm like, you're telling me how to
that's
drug somebody while you're in a
hilarious.
steakhouse? People, oh my God. But he's like, he doesn't talk quietly. Yeah, so
Oh, that is
I'm like, they
so
only
funny.
hear your side of the conversation. They don't know that it's for a script. You're telling me how to drug someone.
And I'm
You know?
sure, I'm sure everybody was just like kind of maybe giving him side eye or something.
Right,
What in the
absolutely.
world?
Absolutely. So yeah, so that, that's pretty funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, I Google how to kill people all the time.
Nice.
Because I have a couple of different thriller shows. Go down that
That rabbit.
rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
for
so
sure.
awesome.
Right. Would you rather be able to teleport or time travel?
Teleport.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, guys. I want to go back in time and just kind of be nosy. And
I mean, the thing is, like, teleportation is way more practical because I can literally leave at the last minute and still get there on time.
Absolutely.
there, okay.
What
Yeah.
in the world just was that? No. Hold on a second. What just happened? Oh, can you please shut it? All right, yeah, let's move on. Sorry, like the wind just blew against my house and the door flew open.
Oh
It
my gosh! Wow.
scared everybody in my house, including my dog. Sorry about that.
Oh
Yeah,
no, no
no
worries,
worries,
no
no
problem.
worries. Wow.
We've had like a kind of a real life show this episode. It's like from the wind,
The
from
animal.
Charlie deciding he wanted to talk to him just being Charlie. So that's no
What's so
problem.
funny is my son's name is Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
So when they say Charlie, I'm like, I yelled at him before I came on to like, I cannot hear you during this because he's playing on his Xbox or whatever the heck he's doing right now,
And
and he likes to yell.
we told our Charlie the same thing. So
He started barking
and
instantly.
he's just like, yeah, I'll show you, woman.
So my thing with time travel
Uh-huh.
is I don't want to go into the past because I do feel that everything has happened for a reason.
Right.
That's
And I know this, and I would be so tempted to fix things
Yeah.
or do what I thought was to fix things, but I feel like God has me on a very specific path, and even the bad stuff that has happened in my life happened to shape me to the person that I am.
You're right.
So I don't want to mess around with anything that happened in the past, and I don't want to go into the future to see how everything results because I don't want it to have an effect on what I change. I want to just enjoy the present.
Right.
That's
So,
True.
I mean, I'd love to time travel to see my grandparents again,
absolutely.
but
Yeah.
but I mean, like teleporting would be awesome
It
because I
would
could
be.
go to Cannes whenever I wanted.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, I think you guys have maybe persuaded me
Yeah.
there. I think I'm kind of swayed.
All right. So if you could
Is
make
where it's at.
all right, if you could make one rule that everyone on the planet had to follow, what would it be?
I want to tell you what just popped into my head. What? Before you speak.
Okay. Yeah, I like that one.
I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, thinking before you speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is just much nicer. It's a nicer phrase than what went through my head. So
Yeah. A lot of people could benefit from that. So I agree.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
that's a good one. I think also others how you would like to be treated.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. You have one person to give a shout out to. Who is it, and why'd you pick them?
Oh, that's not fair. Only one?
Only one.
Shout out to River Perkins.
Okay.
Okay.
I said because he was Derek Prescott, and I talked about him a lot on this. So let's give a shout out to Riv. Should I just go ahead and do a shout out or what?
There you
That
works.
go. That works. Just
works.
shout out to River.
I miss you. Riv, I miss you. I miss Derek, I can't wait for you to come back for season 2.
Awesome.
I can't wait to
How's that?
I can't wait to watch it just so I can see like Derek. I'll be like, oh, that's
I'll
him.
send you guys the trailer. I'll send you guys the trailer so you can see it.
Oh, that'll be awesome. Thank you.
No
All
problem.
right. So, what is the one piece of advice you would give to people who want to follow in your footsteps?
Don't quit. Don't quit. And, just, I don't want to say don't listen. You know what? Don't listen to the negativity. How's that?
Okay.
Right.
Because I can't even tell you how many times I've been told to stay in my lane as a writer, do my fluffy Christmas comedies. Women, you really shouldn't have your own company. Just work for other people. It's easier. Don't use your own money to make projects. Don't do this. Don't do that. You know what? Let me figure it out myself. Don't listen to the negativity.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I love that. Yeah.
I do too. Without a doubt, I love that.
All right. So, in addition to all you have going on, what's next for you?
Well, we start shooting Fireplace Ridge. I mean, what we start shooting Fireplace Ridge in March 30th, on March 30th, and then we've got a bunch more. Just my writing and filming. But if you're asking, like, in the overall grand scheme of things, I'm gonna be EGOT one day.
Yes.
And
Nice. All right.
I had this conversation yesterday with Orlando, and I said, you know what, that's my goal. Is I'm 48 years old, and I'm gonna be EGOT one day.
Absolutely. We're gonna put that out there and get that manifested. And again, I can carry your makeup cases to every last one of these ceremonies. There you go. Throwing that out there.
Right. So, what is the one thing you want our audience to know about you?
It's so funny because I don't like putting myself forth.
Right.
It's like, this is what you need to know about me. I think something that I constantly say is people say to me all the time, "Katie, you're so nice. You're so nice," and I cannot begin to tell you how much I hate that because I'm not nice. I can be nice, but I am not an inherently nice person.
Uh-huh.
I am a kind person.
Okay.
And there is a very big difference between being kind and being nice.
Absolutely.
I feel like being nice is so that people think better of you.
Right.
And that's, well, I don't want to do XYZ because I don't want them to think that I'm mean.
Right.
I, on the other hand, don't care what people think of me. And I do things to be kind because it's not for what's better for me or if you're going to think like how I'm going to look. It's, okay, how are you going to feel, when you have something happen? So nice, for example, nice. We went to Colorado, and there were a bunch of us that were on the same flight home, and I had a car, and the car was going to drop off Joey and Becca and Kakuma, Anthony in Farmingdale, and then me in Brookhaven. So we had like a bunch of stops already, and Jack had somebody picking him up, and Dom was going to take an Uber or something like that. So being nice would have been, oh, here's some money to cover your Uber, or okay, see you later, Dom, give him a hug, whatever. Being kind was, I'm like, get in the damn car, I'll drop you off. It's 3 minutes off the road.
Right.
So having him stay with his Gemelli family, like, that's kind.
Right. Absolutely.
Just, letting him go home by himself, paying for his ride, that's nice. And letting people know that you care about them.
Right.
Letting people know you care about them is being kind. Letting people think you care about them is being nice.
That is the best description I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm. That is.
I just came up with it off the fly. Straight up.
Nice.
Alrighty. Last question. Where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Facebook. It's Candy.Cain, Cain. Uh, I am on Instagram is Candice T. Cain. My name is spelled Candice. It's also on Twitter as Candice T. Cain. On TikTok, and I've actually got quite a following on TikTok. I am Mom the Villain because it started with me scaring the heck out of my kids. So, also on Instagram is Gemelli Films. On Facebook is Gemelli Films. So I'm everywhere.
Alrighty, Candice. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
We've enjoyed it.
We have
So
enjoyed it a
you
lot.
definitely have to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'd be happy to. And if you guys are in New York between March 30th to April 19th, you are more than welcome to come to set on Fireplace Ridge.
Oh, thank
thank
you.
you.
We will definitely have to talk to you more about that offline for sure.
For sure.
Sure. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Did you guys enjoy the show? I know we did. Thanks to Candice for joining us today. Make sure to check out her project and social media. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.